Let me know. Also, I'm a little mad because I just did this lovely video for y'all breaking down the entire process of conscious baptism. For anyone that may want to go through that process of rinsing their conscience of all the worldly influence, the things you've been taught, your beliefs. If anyone wants to actually go through that entire process, because it's quite a long process, but it's a good thing that we all supposed to go through at some point in life. Now, I did a video on that and I erased it while it was uploading. Oh my God, and I hate to do it over. It was an hour and a half long, and I broke down every aspect just in case anyone wants to adopt that into their being. I say being instead of your beliefs because wisdom has to do with knowing. Beliefs and faith, this has nothing to do with knowing. This has to do with I don't know. That's why I have faith and beliefs. But it's a deep thing. We all must go through a point in time where we have a conscious baptism. This is where you rinse your conscience of all the worldly influence and the things you've been taught and told. And you carve out your own path in life and you begin to learn directly from life, having your own relationship and connection with life again, where you can communicate with life and learn that way, as all things in life do. This is why animals don't need all the extra things we need. They're locked in with life. If there's a hurricane or something happening, animals know. They're in tune. The same way you're in tune with your wife or your mother. If she's going through something, you know. Even if y'all on the phone, you like, something ain't right with my wife. Because you locked in like that. Well, you need to be locked in with life like that also. Therefore, you can communicate and learn from life through observation and through that feeling. Because that's how the life communicates, through the connection and the feeling. Now, the same way you're connected to your wife, you could go deeper. But it's all on you how connected you choose to be to a thing, how aware you choose to be. But I did a whole video going through the process of how one must rinse their conscience of all that influence and begin to find a truth with self. Because everything has to do with self. This is why I said if you want to adopt this into your being instead of your beliefs and things like this, because everything has to do with self and with you. You have to have rules and morals and principles for yourself. Has nothing to do with the next person. You have to have truth within yourself. When I say truth within yourself, meaning you have to be honest with yourself, not the next person. If you believe in a religion and things like this, and we all know we didn't create these religions, they're just things that have been passed down over time that we're following because we've been told to. So this is what I mean by being truthful to self. Many people overlook that fact and they stay lost in faith and beliefs. Now, everything in the life that you want to know is here for you to know. You don't have to have faiths and beliefs. You have faiths and beliefs because you don't know things and you don't want to put in the effort and work to knowing. But you know faith and beliefs is BS because there are things that you know. And then there's things that you have that's just faith and belief. So just like you have those faith and beliefs, you can replace that faith and belief with knowing. But you just don't. You rather just let someone else think for you. So it's a deep thing. But this is what I mean by having truth within self. When you get to a point in life where you begin to be truthful with yourself in every aspect. And you stop being influenced. You stop caring about what's cool, what's in style. Oh, what's the morality of this? Oh, the street rules. You just have to get to a point where you reach within self, spend a moment with self, and say, what is truth to me? What is a good moral? What is good morals to have to me? I've lived life. I've had enough experiences to judge and say, man, that leads to bad things and so on and so forth. So you have to begin to make rules and things for yourself. Because man is not supposed to make rules for others. Everything is for self. You're supposed to judge self, not others. You're supposed to make rules for yourself, not others. You're supposed to lead yourself and walk your path, not others. There's many different ways to do things. There's many different paths in life. Grasp. However many people are on this earth, that's how many different ways of life that can be lived. Now, we all follow one another, so you don't get that many aspects of ways to live. But all the amount of people you have on this life is a different aspect and way of life that can be lived if people weren't so slave-minded and following-minded. And this is why it's important that you go through the process of conscious baptizing so that you can get a oneness with the life and get your own path. Everybody has to have their own path. No one needs to be on anyone else's path. You have to have your own path and your own relationship with the life. Therefore, you can learn, be filled up with wisdom and all the things you need. And it's a simple, deep thing. If there's too much following going on, no one's tapping into self and just taking a break. Y'all get lost into the cycle of being materially rich and just lost into the desires, and these things never stop. The new cell phones come out every so often, the new Jordans, the new style, the new clothes, the new your rent. All these things just continue to keep happening nonstop, and it's like you're trying to keep up with it. In the process of that, self is being neglected. Getting a moment to self. And this is what a lot of people need, to just take a moment and say, hold on. All of that's going to always be. I need a moment to self so I can get hold of myself and begin to get balanced and get that sense of truth within self so that you can receive the wisdom. Because you can't receive wisdom if you have influence already within. How are you going to pull from wisdom and you still holding on to certain aspects of religion and this thing that's been told to you? You have to let go of everything that has nothing to do with you as a person, experiencing and knowing. And you have to just deal with what you know and then begin to replace everything you don't with what is truly known from you, dealing with the life. Same way when you were a baby, you observed and you learned from observing and dealing with the things in life, physically and observing. Babies ain't listening to what you say, but they're observing and they're learning from every aspect and thing in the life. And babies don't know nothing, but they slowly fill all those gaps of not knowing with knowing slowly, till they get to a point where man takes over the conscious and influences them. But everyone has to start from scratch, so to say. And this is what the conscious baptism is all about. As we all know, everyone is born and they pretty much use their parents' conscious. So your parents think for you, they tell you what to believe as a child, so on and so forth. Then you get a little older, you're influenced by others and their beliefs and things like this. So everything you know is a matter of what was pushed on you or influenced on you. So it's a deep thing. You have to shed yourself of all of that and deal with self and what self knows and what self doesn't know. You must have a connection with the life so that you can begin to pull from not just the earth, but the universal conscious. Because what is in earth is just a reflection of the life in all. Same with you. What's in you is just a reflection of the life in all. So you have to begin to observe and just learn the order and way things go. And it's a deep thing. As I said, when we're all born, we use our parents' conscious, and we're just completely influenced. But it's a deep thing. When we all become adults, we're supposed to go through our conscious baptism, and we're supposed to rename ourselves, because your parents name you because you can't name yourself. But when you get of age, you're supposed to rename yourself, and this is supposed to be a part of society, because your life is yours, every aspect of it. Your parents just guide you along until you get to a point where you have enough experience and enough conscience to think for yourself and build up on your own conscience. Now, we're a controlling people in today's time, so we like to control how people think. But you have to let go of your children and let them guide themselves and find their own path in relationship with the life. They have to rename themselves and take hold of every aspect of their life and pull for self and begin to judge self and be truthful to self. Y'all are filled up with so many lies from religion and things like this. Now, I'm not saying the religion is a lie, but I'm saying you're lying to yourself when you act as if you know the religion is of truth. Mind you, you don't need the religion. You are a part of the life. Therefore, everything in the life is not secret to you. What you don't know is a matter of you not knowing. Has nothing to do with the life. It has to do with you. You know all the things you know because these are the things you paid attention to. You didn't necessarily pay attention to observing the life and the order and how things work and how life correlates with the things you read. You just read and take it for face value. So this is what I mean by people lie to themselves. The things y'all believe in are hearsay. You're a flat earther, but you never left Earth. So you truly don't know if Earth is flat, but you lie to yourself and you say you do. And just all of these many, many lies that y'all do to yourselves, this blocks y'all from knowledge. This blocks y'all from that connection with the life. Because wisdom and knowledge has nothing to do with showing the world, but it has to do with you getting a sense of peace and happiness within self, living with the flow and current of life as opposed to living against it with its stress and strain, and just having a more of a oneness and connection with the life like animals have, where they have no stress and strain. They have all they need, more than they need, unless man is stressing them out. That's the only way they have stress and strain, if man is around. So you just have to grasp. We have to begin to get a sense of self. Stop worrying about others. This has nothing to do with you. It's a deep thing that y'all have to grasp. I don't want to do the whole video because it was so long. I went through every step, how you rinse the conscious and how it takes a long time because those things that we learned, they're threaded into us. So when you rinse your conscious, you'll still find yourself pulling to things that have nothing to do with what you know, like good and bad. We were told good and bad, but there's no good and bad. There's just cause and effect. And you just have to know what causes will affect later in a negative, bad way. And it's a deep thing, but you will have to repeatedly keep rinsing your conscious. It's just like a 6-year process. It's not a right-away thing, but the baptism part is the longest part. Just rinsing the conscious to get a clean slate. Therefore, you can start to pull in that wisdom. Because right now, y'all pull in wisdom and it gets mixed in with all the lies within you. And you try to correlate the pure truth with the nothingness that's in you. And it's a great deal of confusion that happens. And this is how people get off course with the life and they begin to believe in They begin to believe in sci-fi and just the invisible. And it's a deep thing, but first you got to rinse the conscience. First you got to have truth within self. And a lot of people can't be real with themselves. I'm starting to see that in life. Then you have to rinse the conscious, and then you have to just begin to observe life and get that oneness with life and begin to learn. You can get someone such as myself to maybe guide you and help you till you catch on, and then you just begin to build up your conscious. Don't look at it as a competition. Just focus on you. It's about you. It's not about the next person. You don't need to keep up with the next person. What you need to do is get as perfected as you can. Because perfection is not hard. In fact, you are already perfect. You took all this time making yourself imperfect. This is how you got imperfect. Where you think like, yeah, nobody perfect. Yeah, because you took all this time just working at being imperfect. And it's a deep thing. But I'm trying to cover as much as I can without redoing the whole video. If anyone actually wants to go through the process of the conscious baptism, you can email me at solace031@gmail.com, and I can guide you through it step by step and help you just go through the whole process. This will truly help you to acquire knowledge. There's many civilizations in the past that went through this process. The name of it does not matter. Conscious baptism, this does not matter. I call it that because y'all know of baptizing, where you're dipped in water and rinsed of your sins. Well, that's just the surface level of truth, which is you must rinse your conscience free of all this worldly influence. Not get dipped in water and be washed free of imaginary worldly sins, but you have to wash your own conscience. Rinse it of worldly influence that has been bestowed upon you all this time. And get a oneness with self in your own relationship with the life, in your own path. It's a deep thing. When you're on your own path, you don't have to rush and compete with the next person, because that's your path and it's your road. And they're on theirs. And it's a beautiful thing. We get lost in the knowledge and think it's a competing thing. And this is why people don't never truly acquire it. Because as soon as they learn something, they want to run out and teach it. And there's so much more that they don't know. Everything goes together. So you need to know as much as you can before you try to even teach one thing. Because there'll be so many gaps in that one thing you're teaching if you don't know an abundance of things, being as though all things correlate. If all things do not correlate in a man's teachings, you see how when I teach and I say everything is one thing, and then when I'm teaching I break it down like, see, everything's just one thing. If a man's teachings do not correlate, meaning anything he's talking about, if it does not correlate with everything he's said, then he doesn't truly grasp life. Because as above, so below, micro, macro, as within, so without. Everything is the same thing on its level of life. But everything is just a reflection on something on a larger scale. So whatever you're explaining, it should correlate with the existence we're on. If you're breaking down the ascent and death, and men going from this existence to the next physical existence and how they must pass through death, if they're not explaining it to you the same way you went from a sperm cell, through the womb period, getting an egg, which is a body, and manifesting out into the physical, if they don't explain your next ascent in life in that fashion, then they're not teaching you truth. Because as above, so below. Everything is the same on its level. And it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. There's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of wise men out here, but every aspect of what they say doesn't always be accurate. I was watching this guru guy explain death. I forgot his name. I think it was Sat Guru, something like that. And he was breaking down death, but he never explained it. Now, y'all know I explained death many times. Simple thing. But he never actually explained what happened, or he didn't actually explain nothing. But he was saying good stuff to spark thought. But he never actually answered it. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. There's a lot of that going on. No actual getting to the point. I like to get to the point. No, I don't speak in parables. I speak so you get it instantly. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. But we all must go through the conscious baptism at some point in life. Many people die before they even hear of this. So if you're hearing about it, you may want to pull for it because it's the most truthful thing in life you're ever going to hear. Every word I just spoke is universal truth. You're supposed to name yourself at some point in life. You're supposed to rinse your conscience of all the BS that you've ever heard in your life from any other man. If you didn't get the knowledge from something that you experienced in the life on your own, or you seen in the life on your own and you understood, everything else must go and you must begin to learn for self. Have a path for self. The following thing is not going to help you. It's a deep thing. Conscious that is not used will be recycled to something else. And y'all are not using y'all conscious. Y'all are not dealing with self. You deal with religion. This is dealing with many people and a God and all of this weird stuff. But you have to deal with you. God is like special ed. If you don't want to use your own conscience, then you can have faith and belief and you can have a God. And let him guide you because you special ed. Or you can be what you are and tap into your divinity. And know everything in this life that you can know. Because you can know everything. It's all a matter on you. Like I said, it's not a lot to learn. It's really not. Because all things is one thing. All you have to do is grasp. All you have to do is get rid of all that influence. You don't have to learn a bunch of stuff. I know y'all think, man, life is so long. Life is repeating. You have the same day every day. Nighttime, daytime, every day. The life is revolving. The same things happen on every level, and the same things repeatedly happen. So grasp when I say you don't have to learn a lot. All you have to do is grasp one day. All these days keep going by. Just grasp one. It's the same day every day. Giving you a shot. Grasp. You keep repeating the same day. Only thing changes in the day is what a man does and what a man thinks. But the day is still the same. Just like you're the same every day. Yeah, you age. You might dress different, but the life force, the spirit, same spirit. When you wake up tomorrow, you're going to still be you. When you get 60, you're still going to be you. So grasp. Ain't that much that you need to grasp, except one day. Every day you keep ignoring one day. One day for self, to grasp. And when I say one day, I don't mean literally, but I mean in perspective. There's many days in a life, but all you need to grasp is one of them, because it's the same day always. That's what I mean. It's a deep thing. Hopefully y'all grasp and tap into that conscious baptism. Get off all that foolish Christian baptism. That's fool's play. Wash your sins and you're good to go. And then you go sin right after that. And you really believe, like, get real with yourself. You take a bath every day. So you know goddamn well just because a man dipped you in the bath, don't make it no difference. He don't have no authority over your spirit. What is wrong with y'all? This really upsets me, that people this slow. You think a man got the authority to dip you in water and cleanse you of your sins? Ain't no man got that authority. Don't nobody got authority over you but you. Grasp. Ain't gonna be no removing of nothing from you unless you do it. That whole baptism thing is just another altered truth to keep you separate from the life and keep you a slave, following. But the true baptism is of the conscious. and you must rinse the conscious of all the worldly influence, which religion calls worldly sins. But you need to deal with that and go through the process of the conscious baptism. Now, I may come back in a future time and go through the whole process, but I erased the video. It was an hour and a half. It's a pretty long thing. So as I said, you can email me. My email is in the description, and I'll assist y'all. Hopefully y'all understand universal law, which is order and balance, give and receive, cause and effect. Don't talk to me if you don't understand the obvious things in life that even dogs understand. Burying bones, even dogs understand. Give back, give and receive. If you can't grasp that, then your spirit is just too low. And I don't know what to tell you. But the life ain't going to even deal with you. This is why the life animals, nothing don't deal with man. Because man just takes. It's a deep thing. The life has to be balanced back out. People have to begin to live in the right end of the balance. Y'all don't show any pull towards that. Y'all listen to truth and y'all say, that's deep. And then y'all go back into y'all unbalanced ways. And it's a deep thing. But anyone wants in-depth information on the process of the conscious baptism, email me. Because it's a deep thing. People truly need this. People are damn near. People are on bended knees begging. Praying is begging. Y'all are on bended knees praying, which is begging, to invisibility. God got y'all on y'all knees like $2 whores about to suck off, and y'all have no problem with this. Mind you, it's a deep thing. I don't even want to insult no one. Hopefully y'all grasp the deepness of this video. If anyone wants to begin to start learning in depth in all the things that I teach, beginning with the conscious baptism, I can help you with the truth part, because you're not going to be able to do anything with yourself until you begin to start to be truthful with self. This is the beginning process. Then you have to begin to remove and catch. When I say remove, you have to catch all the things that were influenced when they begin to come out. You see yourself start thinking on knowledge or teaching knowledge, and you start to say things that are not of yours, but they're an influence. It is not what you know, but it is what you were taught. You have to keep catching it. So the conscious rinsing, it takes a while, few years. It's all on a person, but it's not a quick thing. But over time, you'll rinse, and as you rinse what was influenced, you'll replace it with knowing. So this is where it's good, because all that you lose, that's just influence. Now you have space to replace that with truth and knowing. So you have your religion, and you can replace that faith and belief with a truth and a knowing. So it's a trade. You can't have both, but you can have wisdom or you can have faith. It's all on you. You can know or you can just believe and hope. So it's all on you. But I can guide you through the process. It's a beautiful thing. I've went through it. I explained all of this when I did the video, my whole process, but I just can't do a whole nother hour and a half video. I'm sorry. But it's a deep thing. If you want to go in depth into the knowledge, a lot of y'all going to have to start to reach out on me on a one-on-one level. Or just start donating so I can get this land for school and people can come out and learn directly from the life. They can go through their conscious baptism on the land. Not on the land, but you can come out there and begin to go through it with others. Because you can rinse your conscience with others as they're rinsing theirs. It'll give you a sense of, I'm not alone in this thing, in me dealing with self. Not to say that y'all going to be rinsing each other's conscience, but you rinsing yours, and right over here another brother's going through his process in his time. He's where he's at, you're where you're at, but it's just a beautiful thing, and you can do that. And however, but the life needs to be balanced back out. Things are bad now, as y'all see. With everything. The animals, you got animals in the zoo. An animal's not supposed to be in the zoo. Who gave a man the right to do that? You go kidnap animals out the wild and bring them to your zoo so people can look at them like a fish in a bowl, and then you build a city in their forest, and this is just horrible things, and this is what I mean by men just take. There's no balance. There's no respect for the universal law. Man respects religious law, but that ain't about nothing. It's a deep thing, but this is what I mean by having truth within self and going through that process of the conscious baptism. The name does not matter, as I said. Y'all know baptism. The process is the whole thing. So in the past, they probably called it something else. Spiritual intervention or something. I don't know. But what I'm saying is true. In the past, people got to a certain age and they renamed themselves. And they got on their own path with the life and learning. A lot of this happened in Native American culture. A lot of this happened in ancient African culture. Not Egypt, but like deep in Africa where they still deal with the life. Not the dumb stuff and the religion stuff, but they still sit around the fire and the elders still speak. And a lot of speaking of life and the animals. A lot of the Africans had animal tribes just like the natives. So you have to grasp. People all over the earth believed in the truth that I speak before they're influenced. So it's a deep thing. I'm not teaching y'all anything that can't be found in the life. It's just a matter of you live in society and in civilization and in the system. So you don't get to see too much except for the system and the technologies of it. But you don't get to see the real physical life and be able to mingle with the animals like we used to. The animals was a part of the life. You came out your house, animals were there. It's not like that now. You come out your house, it's nothing but technology. So there's no connection with the life. There's a division. And it's a deep thing. I just feel like people are too low-spirited right now. I feel like people are truly taking advantage of the knowledge that I'm giving, because the knowledge I'm giving is truly $1 billion knowledge. And if a person truly took a moment to just really cleanse themselves of all the influence and then listen to my videos, because when I break it down with things you've experienced. I break it down with the actual life. A person will really truly resonate and really have to come to a perspective to say, man, he's truly giving away billions of dollars worth of truth and knowledge that men ain't getting. And men is paying money for fake things. And it's a deep thing. All I ask for is $5 per month donation from all of those who receive truth from me. Because you have people re-altering the things I teach and gaining themselves a following. Rest in peace, Mike McCullough. He's one. There was a white boy named Dan. I forgot his last name. He's out in Honduras. He's another one. You have many people building themselves a following off of the things they learned directly from me, because I dealt with certain people over the phone and taught them directly, like Mike McCullough, Dan, Eligio Nature Boy. He was calling me at one point in time on a regular basis, pulling as much knowledge and information as he could from me. Not to say he wasn't teaching already and knew his own things, but a lot of things he was pulling from me. He was calling me. So it's a deep thing. It's a lot of people that built themselves. If you notice, Eligio had a certain amount of a following. And then his following just jumped. It's when I came on the scene. A lot of people was dealing with me behind closed doors, because I don't care about the public thing. You call me and get the knowledge for real on a one-on-one. So a lot of brothers took that up. And it's deep, because people don't balance out. Pay simple little dues so that I can get what I need in the life to bring more balance and reach more direct. When I say reach more, I don't mean more people, but reach those that truly want the knowledge more within self. Reach deeper within them so they can go as deep within self as they can go. Because that's the way out. And it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. But I say all that to say that because y'all truly don't respect and appreciate the knowledge that I bring, and it's truly one of a kind. So what I've decided I'm going to start doing is just posting one video per day. And I'm going to block all videos that predated that. And every day, y'all, those who want the knowledge, I have a fresh video. You get the video, and I'll bring it down and replace it with another one. And do it that way until people begin to treat this knowledge that I give with respect and understand when I say give and receive and universal law, I mean this, man. You have to have balance. I don't want to even teach anyone that's not pulling to balance the life back out, because it's too much taking and taking advantage in the life with everything going on, to the point where you have animals in zoos. That shit is deep. Like deep, deep. The more I get in tune with the life and the more tapped in I get, when you get more in tune with the life, you start to not like man, because you start to see the truth about them. Like, yo, y'all are low-spirited. Y'all don't even try. You figure $5 a month is a perfect example. That's 15 cents a day. Y'all don't even try. Mind you, I could charge $10,000 a goddamn lesson, because I ain't a cheap nigga. I'm about my paper. Don't get it twisted. But this has nothing to do with that. This has to do with people getting knowledge for the purposes of helping me to bring balance back to the life. I don't mean going out there running and reiterating or trying to reteach what I said, but I mean for people to start moving on a conscious level. And if everyone is attending to self and bettering self, this will help the life. This will bring about that balance. If you're doing your part in giving and receiving and keeping that flow going, whenever you give, you should receive. Whenever you receive, you should give. And as long as everyone keeps that going with self, meaning worrying about you doing your part in that with self, in life always, this will bring back balance. There will be no need for people taking advantage, because everyone will know. Everyone will follow that universal law. And it's a deep thing. It's too much imbalance. I don't even want to teach those. I don't even want people to have the knowledge that's an imbalanced spirit, because then you get the altering of the things I teach for the purposes of gaining the following. Like I said, Brother Mike T. McCullough, if some of y'all may know him, he passed away. There's no quarrel between me and him. I always seen him as he was one of my first students, man, to be honest. He'll tell you he was a student of mine, but many others were students too, but they won't ever admit it. They'll admit that, yeah, I called him and I got this and that and whatever, but they'll never admit that they were truly a student. And, I reject people. Once I see your spirit is out of line, like Mike T. McCullough, I cut him off. He gets no more knowledge from me, because your spirit is all wrong. I told him simply like this. I said, you're teaching people to be one with the life and to learn from the life, as I've taught you. Yet, you still don't learn from the life. You learn from me, and you teaching people to learn from the life, but you don't know how. So how are you teaching them that? It's a lie. You have to do it, then teach it. But he's rushing. He likes the things I say. He's good at reiterating what I say his way. But when he does it his way, it's not the same. It'd be little things, it'd be big things that be different. Because he's still influenced by Christianity, like most people are that learn from me. They still have their beliefs floating in their head. So it's a deep thing. But I didn't get a chance to have any student that I can guide through the conscious baptism. So Like Mike T. McCullough, he passed away. He never got this knowledge from either conscious baptism and things like this. A lot of people are cut off, or they cut themselves off in a sense before they can get the in-depth knowledge and truly grasp it from the perspective I grasp it from. They just rush and they acquire themselves a following, but in the end, it ain't worth it. It's like I said, everybody dies. I told Mike T. McCullough this. I said, man, you're going to die, brother. Everybody dies. And what does it matter if you truly didn't grasp nothing? All you know is just what I said. And as we all know, he passed away recently. It's a deep thing, man, that I just want y'all to all think about. Because life is deep, and we don't truly take a moment to think of how important the things are. We get a lot of opportunities in life we overlook, like me. Y'all completely overlook me, and y'all really, truly don't understand that you can have a whole deeper life. You can have a whole deeper aspect, a whole deeper experience, a whole deeper level of living and existing in this life if y'all can just grasp what I say. Half of it. If you could just balance your spirit out and be truthful with self and say, man, you know what? Certain things I believe in, I don't. That was heard of. And just start doing away with the fake stuff. Balance yourself out. Be real with self. You know give and receive is a true law. Universal. You see dogs burying bones because they obey the laws. Yet you learn from me, you can't even pay a simple due. That I feel bad about saying because it's so low. Makes some people may think that I think that my knowledge is worth that, and I don't. Don't get it twisted. I just think everybody's truly poor. And knowledge ain't about getting rich, but it's about getting the goals accomplished. And y'all are not helping me with that. I'm giving y'all knowledge for nothing. Because it ain't no benefit to the life, and y'all learning any of this. That's obvious. Things are still unbalanced. It ain't no purpose of me. Y'all ain't helping me and saying, well, fuck life, but I'm going to help Silas because I grasped it from him. It's no helping with me. So me teaching y'all is pointless. So I'll just put one video up per day. And for those who truly want to learn and those that want to have balance, every day, tune into my channel, catch the video before it's replaced with another one. And I'll just do it that way until y'all begin to respect the universal laws. Respect me and respect the teachings that I'm bringing to y'all. Because at the end of the day, wisdom is everything. Respect the wisdom. You don't have to like me or whatever the case may be. As I told many of y'all before, because y'all run y'all mouth a lot. Y'all already know how I'm giving it up. So cut it out. You get the knowledge. The wisdom is what it's about. And it's that simple. Let's keep going forward. I got an oath coming up that I have to take. Everything I do is with self. It has nothing to do with no one else. So the oath I'm about to go through, that has to do with me. I have a oath of silence I have to do in the next couple of months. We have to take a moment of silence. And it's just certain rules and stipulations that I make for me. And therefore, me, in my ascent, it's a process, and it never stops. You have to continuously adjust, and you have to raise the bar for self. So I have little oaths and things that I go for self, and it's just a matter of raising the bar. Soon, the oath that I'm about to go through in a couple of months, I'm going to have to start to disconnect from those who are not trying to be one with the life and bring balance back to the life. Because mixing and mingling in with those who you know are low-spirited and trying to bring destruction to the life is pointless. Think about it. If you're trying to better the life and you know they don't care about that and ain't nothing you going to say going to change them, then you teaching and talking to them is truly just bringing more destruction to the life. Because whatever you tell them, they're going to use it for that purposes. So I'm going to have to start to remove myself from those who are not trying to be one with the life and bring balance back for the life, for the purposes of the life. Because we all are the life. And it's a deep thing. And I just have to go through that process. That's coming up soon. That's another little oath. I have many different oaths and things that I go through, and rules that I set for myself. When I go through these certain oaths or certain raising of the bars, there's different rules and principles that I must abide by. So when I first started, I talked a certain way, then I had to go through a certain oath, where I teach a certain way and I speak a certain way and I carry myself in a certain way. And then you'll see a change in the videos, and this is where you got the good evening, lovely spirits, etc., etc. So I raise the bar, I go through certain oaths, but when I'm ready in due time. I'm not complete. In a couple of months, I have to go through my oath. So before the year is up, I have to disconnect myself, start the year fresh with those that are truly trying to bring balance to the life, and begin to disconnect myself from those who are trying to bring destruction, the same way the life does. The life will disconnect itself from you if you're bringing harm upon it. So it's the deep thing. The life won't hate you or anything, but the life will disconnect itself from you, and this is why men are disconnected from life. They don't. The life just gives y'all hurricanes and all the negative things that y'all take and manipulate and make worse. So it's a deep thing, but that's the oath I'm going through soon. Then after that, I have to go through my oath of silence, which I was supposed to then go through. And as I stated, all these things have to do with self. These ceremonies and raisings of the bars and oaths, they have to do with self. They are mine. They're not for anyone else. When you get to this point, or if you call on me to help you with your conscious baptism, and if you don't call on me to get your conscious baptism, then I'm assuming you're truly not taking it. You're truly not taking it serious, because I didn't even go in. It's deep. It doesn't really matter, but you do however you want. Whatever works for y'all. But when you go through your process of your conscious baptism, I could help you get your own rules and oaths and standards that you slowly set as you build up in conscious. You have to build up your standards. Therefore, the conscious has something to support it. You can't be low-spirited with a large amount of conscious. It's not going to work. It's going to crush the spirit. So the spirit has to have a certain standard. So as you raise your conscious, you have to raise the bar. You have to take certain oaths for self. I have to do this, blase, blase. I have to do that. I have to live by these rules now. I can't, like for me, when I begin to disconnect from those that's bringing destruction, I can no longer deal with those who are lost into the street life and things like this. Now, if you sell drugs, that has nothing to do with you being lost into the street life, because I know brothers who sell drugs and they don't leave their house. So they're not bringing any destruction to the life. They're well balanced out. I know drug dealers who are well balanced out. That's just their job. It's not a great job, but neither is the guy that sells cigarettes out of the grocery store. But no one's judging in that sense. Neither is all these dispensaries that's getting paid off marijuana, which is produced freely of earth. So, this is my point. But I'm talking about those low-spirited that's trying to just take advantage of every aspect of the life they can and anything in the life they can. And, you know, just the low-spirited people that look for any way to justify their ways. Have to disconnect with that. A lot of people running around in the streets with these stupid street rules and morals. Those things don't fit nowhere in the life. Street values and morals, they contradict themselves. So it's a deep thing. And I just have to, like I said, raise the bar for myself now, because I'm tapping into a whole new level of conscious now. I know y'all like, man, I thought you was already the wisest mother effer on the planet. Yeah, but knowledge is infinite. So I can just go to the point where y'all just like, I can't follow Solace. He's just way too smart. We almost at that point, if you want to be honest. I throw the videos out so fast, y'all can't keep up. So I try to chill for a couple of days, and then, but the conscious is just raising, and I'm not stopping it. I'm continuously raising the bar, raising the standards of my spirit to support the conscious, and just adjusting every level. And I got the hang of this, and it's all due to the life guiding me, and it's all due to me understanding that the life is all, and that's all I need to grasp. When I say the life, more than just the earth, but the entire life. Even you, I learned from men, but not what they say. I learned from the way things they do. I learned from observing men, how full of shit they are. And in their full of shitness, I learned so much. And it's a deep thing, and I learned from every aspect of the life. Trees, everything. But it is all due to the life, and as I said, I'm going to go through my oath soon, before the year is up. And before that time, I must go through my 5-day period of silence. I'm actually looking forward to that. I might try to just tap out for the whole 5 days. Sometimes I sit still, and mad time will just go by, and I won't realize it. I do this all the time. I sit and watching a movie, and the movie will go off, and I'll be like, oh, I missed the whole movie. Because I can't really watch TV now. Whenever I watch TV, then I drift off in a meditative state. The TV does not capture my attention anymore, because it's stupid. My conscious is too far past television and the things that's on it. So when I'm watching television, my wisdom is more entertaining to me than what's on conscious. There's so much more within my mind that the TV is like stupid to me. So I can never focus on it. This is why I truly don't watch television and things like this anymore. And this is a part of the rinsing of your conscious. It's a deep thing, but it's just like being online on Facebook. I can't scroll up and look at the post like I used to. I can only post. I can't really look at anybody else, because it's just like, it's deep. But as I stated, I'm going to go through my little processes. Hopefully people pull, and they try to let me be an example to you. That's the best thing I can say. Let me be an example to you of the process in truly acquiring true wisdom and a deep level of knowledge. You ever heard a man say, I adjust my spirit? As my knowledge raises, I raise my spirit to support the knowledge. Have you ever heard a man tell you this? Grasp the depth of what I just said. Because everything I speak, I see. I fully grasp every aspect. So when I'm teaching you about acquiring wisdom, I fully grasp. There's no point of it or piece of it I don't grasp. I grasp so much that I said, as my conscious grows and the wisdom expands, I adjust my spirit. And I raise the standards of my spirit to support the wisdom. That's way, you ain't never heard a teacher tell you that. So grasp. What I'm telling you will lead you to a great deal of wisdom. It's a deep thing. It's your main man Solace, the wise servant. Y'all be groovy.